Just when it seems that this show has left its past behind it and moved on to an entirely new storyline, untethered from anything that happened before it, we're thrown a bit of a curveball. Just as the Teen Titans are when they respond to a robbery and come upon Red X, Robin's former villain persona that he used in an attempt to get close to Slade. It's even more surprising to them when they clash with this new Red X, and he proves to be just as skilled with the suit and its technology as Robin was when he was wearing it. Sure, they're able to recover from at least most of the various means that he attempts to use to incapacitate them. And he is still using Robin's Red X suit. This is Robin's Red X suit. So his weapons aren't exactly lethal. They're all designed to incapacitate. But this guy's good. He's good with the tech. And Robin, of course, being Robin, when he sees his tech being used to do wrong, tech that he used to do wrong during a chapter of his life which he sees as being one of his greatest mistakes, something that he wants to forget. He, of course, starts to turn a little bit back into that obsessive Robin that we knew back from the initial Slade arc. And when the power source in the suit's belt, the source of the majority of the suit's tech, is damaged, Robin is forced to admit to his friends why he didn't destroy the Red X suit in the first place, and also why we've got to do all the stuff that they do in this episode. The suit is powered by unstable fictional element number 6. I don't remember what it's called, I just remember that it glows red and it starts with an X, hence the name Red X. And it's dangerous. It's a dangerous, unstable material. Robin was stupid to use it in the suit, but he was rushed to create this persona, so he didn't really see that he had another choice. And now someone has access to the suit. Someone was able to break into his vaults and steal this suit because it was too dangerous to destroy it. It was too dangerous to dispose of this material. But they do know that this guy is going to be looking for more of this fuel source, so they at least have a lead on where he's going to be. Robin gets in contact with the same supervillain supplier, Dr. Chang, that he used to get his hands on the material in the first place when he was constructing the suit, and gets a lead on where some might be kept under extreme lock and key. This leads to another confrontation between Robin and Red X, and during their various clashes throughout the episode, they're each kind of getting a feel for the other, what kind of person the other is. But you can also tell Robin's kind of projecting some of his mindset from back when he wore the suit onto this guy. Like, this new Red X is not shy about the fact that he is, first and foremost, in this primarily for himself. He's not a hero like Robin is, and he's not trying to infiltrate some crime syndicate and do good like Robin was when he wore the suit. He's just a guy who enjoys the power and the freedom that it gives him, at least for the most part. And Robin is able to see parallels between that mindset and the mindset that he had back when he wore the suit. Back when he was Red X, there was a certain selfishness to his behavior too. Yes, he was trying to do good, and yes, he was trying to protect his friends, but in doing so he ended up tricking them and harming them, and at the end of the day, he was also doing so to further his own personal obsession with this villain. So Robin's perception of this new Red X kind of stops there at him being a selfish person. So it's interesting when Red X insists that he's not a bad guy, he's just not a hero like Robin is. And this all comes to a head in the actual climax of the episode, which is not a confrontation between Robin and Red X. Dr. Chang is not an idiot. He was able to work out from what Robin told him that someone is going to be breaking into the facility housing this material. And sure enough, by the time Robin shows up and has his next confrontation with Red X has already done so and broken through all of the facility's security. So Dr. Chang is able to send in his space-suited stormtrooper guys and use the fact that Robin and Red X are distracted with each other to incapacitate them long enough to steal a huge quantity of the material for Dr. Chang, who wants to build a super laser to destroy the city. I don't know why he wants to destroy the city. I would have thought he wanted to hold the city ransom with the laser and only threaten to destroy it, but no, he wants to straight up destroy the city. Whatever. He also reveals that his men, who are actually really good at their jobs, managed to capture all 4 of the other Teen Titans while they were separated from Robin. Like, it seems almost ridiculous, but This guy is super effective as a villain. Way more than you'd expect just looking at it. Robin does manage to capture Red X, but now he's got to go save the city. He doesn't have any time. This is something that Dr. Chang was planning to do anyway. This whole situation just made it easier. So his weapon's ready. It's ready and it's already pointed at the city. Robin's got to go now and, if possible, rescue his friends while he's at it. He tries to appeal to Red X and get him to take responsibility for his part in this and help. Red X, though, insists that he doesn't like to play the hero. So Robin goes alone, and again, these guys are really good at their job, and so he's not able to actually succeed on his own. But then, Red X, who managed to escape from where Robin imprisoned him, shows up to help, and the two of them together are enough to finish the job. Dr. Chang is defeated, and he and all of his men are captured, his weapon dismantled, and the other Titans are freed, but Red X manages to escape. But as he is doing so, Robin manages to get his utility belt away from him, at least limiting what he can do with the suit. And the episode ends on a great monologue asking us such weighty questions as, is Red X now a hero because he helped them? Is Robin responsible for all of this because he made this suit that he wasn't able to destroy and which was then exploited by a villain? And where lesser kids shows might have tried to answer those questions, painting Red X as the bad guy no matter what, and painting Robin as the good guy no matter what. Teen Titans is a mature enough show that it doesn't do that. It leaves the questions open-ended, giving us, the audience, the chance to noodle on them ourselves and decide what we think the answers might be. Maybe even discuss them with friends who also watch the show. Because at the end of the day, there's no right answer to those questions. The answer is yes, but also no, and also maybe. It's really fantastic. It's something that all of the DC animated shows at the time did a really good job of doing. I really wish that era hadn't ended. I'm hearing good things about the new season of Young Justice, so who knows. Point is, this is an excellent episode which doesn't provide us with any answers at all for anything, including who the new Red X actually is, and I love it. It's all set up for what I assume would have been an arc that never got completed, unfortunately, but it was still really good. It's still a really good episode of this show. It's frustrating, though, because as good as this episode is, we don't ever find out who this new Red X is. It really does seem like an arc was planned for this character, an arc where we found out who this character was, and maybe they even became an ally to the Teen Titans. But it never actually happens. There are a couple of theories floating around, though. I've heard ones as absurd as Red X is an alternate universe version of Robin, who ended up here because of some magic spell gone awry or something that Larry did. But the theory that I like the most is that this Red X was supposed to be Jason Todd, another of the Robins, skipping as much of his early life as possible to avoid spoiling anyone who doesn't know anything about this character. Jason Todd was a former Robin who eventually came back as an anti-hero character, Red Hood. He first appeared as the Red Hood in the Batman Under the Hood story arc, which was being planned at, I would imagine, the same time that this season was being planned, and started to release at about the same time that this season was airing. It really does seem to me that they were setting up a heavily adapted version of the Under the Hood story arc, which featured Robin in the central role, interacting with Jason rather than Batman. Would have been very different than the comic version, just as the Judas Contract storyline with Tara was very different than the comic version, but still would have been, I think, really interesting. I really would have liked to have seen it. Like, if you look at the two characters, they're actually really similar. They both have extremely similar fighting styles. This new Red X was able to use the suit pretty much immediately after putting it on, almost as if it was built for someone with his skill sets, and being another Robin, that would be true. He and Robin would have very similar physical abilities. Red X even talks to Robin sometimes as if he knows him, and Jason would have known Robin. Red X is kind of sarcastic, kind of arrogant. He's a bit of a loner and very proud of his abilities, and that fits Jason almost to a T. Like, sure, he didn't show up as the Red Hood, but taking an aesthetically similar character and using them instead to tie back into Robin's earlier story arcs, that's brilliant. That's something that the writers on this show would do. There's even a brief exchange of dialogue at the end of this episode, which I feel really supports this idea.
I thought you didn't like to play the hero. Doesn't mean I don't know how.
Jason, when he returned as the Red Hood, didn't like playing the straight hero anymore, but he could still do it when he had to. Finding out who this character is, confirming whether or not they're supposed to be Jason Todd, is one of the primary reasons why I really wish this show would continue, and the fact that we never found out who he is I think one of the most disappointing things about the show overall. But still, it's easy to enjoy this character when he is on screen. He's a likable enough character. I really liked watching him interact with Robin. And this appearance of what is effectively a ghost from Robin's past actually does tie into some more of Robin's journey later on in the season, but we'll get to that when we get to it. At the end of the day, though, guys, I'd like to know, what do you think of the episode X if you have seen it? Let's get a discussion going in the comments section down below, or over my Discord, link in the description. But either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys